All right, cool. Looks like we're live. Are you still with me, Big G? Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I can't hear Discord sounds, so if you could give
Oh,
me
okay.
overlay or how would you say feedback sketches, that would be appreciated. In the meantime, also just keep track of the Twitch chat.
Wait for some people to trickle in here.
Yeah, so look, we're doing things a little bit on the fly here, Big G. But for the people that are not familiar with the matchup, we've got NOHF versus Ball Chasers. We didn't manage to catch their previous game, so the standings might be currently incorrect. But NOHF are 1-5 in the standings, and Ball Chasers are 2-4. So, given that information, this match is pretty important for the standings. So, either team would really like to take 2 wins here. Obviously, there's only 3 games, so one of them should take 2 games. But a 3-0 for either team would be massive for the standings because, as far as it stands, I believe Rad Belligeon are currently undefeated in the league. So, they are miles ahead of the competition.
Yeah, and the other interesting thing I saw as well is for NOHF, the other two teams in their division are both 5-1, so they're really going to want to start to make an early push just to catch back up with those two other teams. And then Ball Chasers is tied in the standings as well, so I think both teams are really trying to push and get as many wins in as possible.
Yeah, and NOHF, they were on stream last weekend. I was casting them last weekend. And they fielded their plat, I think, for that match versus Rad Belligeon, and that didn't go as planned because I think they got sweeped. And I'm not sure who they're bringing to the table for this series, but Wilkes will have to lead the charge because he's the highest MMR player on the team, and obviously has a good company. I believe both of his compatriots are Champ 1, Champ 2, and then if I remember correctly, it is Darkstar that is a bit on the lower end at Plat 3. So I think that maybe for the matchup that they had last weekend, they made a strategic error with drafting the players for the matchup at hand. And so we'll have to see
Mm-hmm.
who they ended up taking for this series. But it looks like Darkstar will be playing in this one because Darkstar is Roller Girl in game.
Yeah, it's always interesting to see the first lineup that teams go with because you're not sure what who the other players are going to be on the opposing side. You don't know what the opposition is going to bring to the table. So it looks like we are joining in here.
Yep. So we're kicking off our first match of the evening over here in Europe. Of course, it is afternoon in the United States or Canada. And I believe this is the exact same lineup for NOHF that we saw last week. So they're going to have a pretty big handful here because MVP Pants, Oaks, and Bench are all Champ 1 and higher, I believe, with obviously Bench being one of the highest rated players on the side of Ball Chasers. And so far, we're looking off to a pretty good start for the side of Blue Team. NOHF has, in the past, had a great job of creating a lot of kickoff pressure at the start of their games, but no conversions just yet. Looking pretty frisky for the side of Bench, trying to go for the double tap, but unfortunately not able to get another touch on that. It's going to be all up to Oaks in the last man position. Roller Girl trying to go for the challenge. Wilk in a little bit of an awkward position, trying to get that ball clear, but that's going to go straight to Bench. Bench is going to send it to MVP Pants, but MVP Pants sadly not ready for that shot. And the pressure is still on for the side of NOHF. Oaks with a free shot on net. Wilkes rotating out of the corner. And that was a bit of an unfortunate misplay, but a fantastic shot from Oaks. MVP Pants with a great pass mid. Prison Mike caught flipping out in the field and off to a good start for the side of Ball Chasers.
Yeah, it just seemed like an unfortunate overcommit out of back post there.
Yeah, indeed.
See if they can tighten up their rotations just a little bit. Make sure to play nice and patient.
Yeah, indeed. You don't want to be giving the side of Ball Chasers a lot of space because I'm pretty sure they live up to their name when it comes to keeping up the pressure. Speaking of pressure, though, NOHF not in the best position. Once again, Oaks is going to get it past one, but that's going to go straight to Wilkes. Wilkes will be in the corner for this one. Unfortunately, not getting the best of challenge, and luckily for the side of NOHF, MVP Pants did not have the angle to get the shot. And I'm starting to see a bit of a deja vu here. This is how the game versus Rad Belligeon went last week, and we're already off to a bit of a disastrous start for NOHF.
It just seems like the pressure is getting to them a little bit. Their defense breaking down. A couple unfortunate whiffs to really seal that goal for the Ball Chasers.
Indeed, it's looking pretty tough, but Bench flexing the kickoff goal. I'm pretty sure it was Oaks that did take the kickoff, so that was a great kickoff win. And Wilkes deciding not to go up for that challenge, and unfortunately not rotating back post off that either, and that's not really the best defensive play for the side of NOHF. They're not out of it just yet, but with 3 goals down in the opening 1.5 minutes, it's starting to look pretty tough for them.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see what Wilkes and his team or what adjustments they're going to make, because there has to be some adjustment made. It seems like they're just not getting to the ball quite as quick.
Yeah, I think it's just a compounding aspect of different factors. The boost management isn't quite there. Obviously, the kickoffs have been going very sour for the past 2, I want to say. And the midfield control is honestly just looking a lot better for the side of ball chasers. They're doing a great job of beating the other players to the ball, like you alluded, Big G, but then also actually putting the shot on target and making it very awkward for the defenders.
Now, I'm interested to see what MVP Pants is going to do, because I had the pleasure of playing with him in one of the first leagues. And there were games where sometimes it took him a little bit to warm up, but he became a really clutch player and scored some game-winning goals for us. So I'd be really interested to see what he's thinking right now, what he's going to change up.
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong, Big G, but MVP Pants, I believe he did play in the 2v2 league, which was, I want to say, like a quarter of a year ago, 3 or 4 months ago. And I believe he did have a pretty good showing. Obviously, I don't think he took the entire league, but he was definitely up there. I think he was top 4 when it came to the standings.
Yeah, I would not doubt that one bit.
Yeah, definitely one of the solid champ players on our server, doing a pretty good job of positioning himself well, making sure he's always relevant on the action. And then wait a minute? Okay, not quite yet, but one of the things that I've been liking about MVP Pants this series so far is that there were a few situations where he could potentially go for a shot, and he just decides not to commit his card to the play, just making sure that he keeps up pressure and just following the ball into the various parts of the map. As I say that, though, MVP Pants will have to try to shut down this clear. Wilkes not getting the best read on the bounce. Good 50-50 going to Roller Girl. Great job blocking that out, but Bench is going to try to keep the pressure going. Big breakaway for NOHF. Unfortunately, though, Roller Girl will send it straight to the corner. MVP Pants does get a free ball. But NOHF, they're out for blood. They do see an opportunity coming, and Wilkes already gets a first touch going. Not able to get the double, though.
Definitely seeing a big change in possession here. Blues definitely been putting on the pressure this past 30, 45 seconds. Hopefully they want to keep it up, keep them starved to boost.
Yeah, and
at least seal 1 goal to get some momentum, at least going forward into the second game.
Yeah, and for the people that are on stream and are not familiar with how the league works, the deciding factor is how many games you do take away for the regular league play in terms of seeding and also getting into the playoffs. But goal differentials have come up in the past, and as I say that, though, Wilkes will get that much-needed goal. I don't think it is going to be doing enough just now, because I think that ball chasers will just decide to start turtling up for the time being, because they do have a 3-goal lead. But either way, stemming off that bleeding in terms of the goal differential might come up if they're a middle-of-the-pack team scrambling just to get to the playoffs.
Almost another opportunity there for NOHF. I think Wilkes is going to be real happy about that one. He finally found his opportunity. I think maybe get some momentum moving forward.
Yeah, and it's, once again, pretty similar to their story of last week, although I think the first game that they played versus Rad Belligerent was a lot closer. But they did have a few close opportunities, and it really did just come down to a lot of their shooting on offense, not able to actually put that shot on target with enough force to make it awkward for the defense. And I do think that compared to their opening 2.5 minutes, NOHF have started to find their footing, but I think that they're going to have to start thinking about Game 2, because with the way that this is going to get on the close, it doesn't look like it's going to be enough to get the overtime.
Yeah, what I do like from Wilkes is he has been keeping the ball very close, trying to keep control, keep possession for his team. And one thing that we've seen a lot in this league is kind of the higher level players trying to find their place in the rotation. And I've seen him, it looks like he's positioning to want to cut, but decides to back off and leave it for his team and really put some trust in them. So hopefully that'll pay off for them going forward.
Yeah, and I like that you bring that up, Big G, because there is like a strategy game element, because if you think about the value of your pieces on the field, Your mid GC1 player, or high GC1 in the case of Wilkes, actually, you do have to think about how you use that piece on the field, because on the one hand you have to flex your offensive prowess because you're probably the best attacker on your team, but on the other hand, one overcommit just means that you're leaving your team behind, out to the vulture, so to speak. And that's
Yeah, I think
the balance that Wilkes hasn't been able to find just yet, but it was looking better though.
really it just comes down to playing a really strong first man and a really strong third man as well, just for, whatever may come that way. But it is a very hard balancing act.
Yeah, and I think that the one, let's say, secret ingredient that is missing for the side of NOHF is that if Wilkes or Prison Mike can get it past 1 to 2 people, that they can get that one touch or that one shot that connects off the play, because they did consistently find ways to get it past 1 to 2 people in their previous series, and even in this series as well, as a matter of fact. But just getting it, that one extra touch to make sure that it gets to your teammate, unfortunately not there just yet. And we're off to game 2 here. Ball Chasers already making a bit of a statement game, to say the least. And, I mean, given with the state of affairs, I'm pretty much looking towards potentially saying a 3-0. But I think that before I make such a definitive statement, this is going to be the most important game of the series, because if there's any momentum to be gained, it's going to have to be in this game.
Yeah, it's definitely going to have to be right here and right now. Hopefully coming out to a very strong start.
Yeah, and
I
Wilkes
think an opening goal will do them very well. It's like NOHF's already trying to put some shots on.
Yeah, Wilkes is keeping up the pressure, though, for the time being. And a bit of an unfortunate miss on the open net for the side of Prison Mike. The pressure is still on, though, and Ball Chasers do have to walk away with their tails between their legs. Great 50-50 for Wilkes. Bench is going to have to go up for that very fast, but that's going to go straight to Roller Girl. Roller Girl with a bounce. Will Prison Mike be able to connect?
Triple commit on the Ball Chasers defense could be an opening for NOHF.
Oh, unfortunate bounce shot coming from Prison Mike. Crossbar out. You hate to see it, because NOHF have been working so hard to get the ball that close to the net. But unfortunately, Prison Mike's touch just wasn't it for the time being. And that clear might spell disaster, because MVP Pants is on the prowl. That's going to go to Oaks. Crossbar down, betraying Oaks on that rebound. Wilkes is on the counterattack play, does get it past Bench, but Bench with a fantastic play to keep it in the corner. Great critical touch, because otherwise Prison Mike would have pounced on that.
Beautiful touches there from Roller Girl. I was very, very happy to see her ready there on that lost challenge by, I believe it was Prison Mike. Seen her step up a bit.
Yeah, and Roller Girl, funnily enough, lowest rated player on the side of NOHF, but she put in so much work in the last series. I think she scored one of the only goals that NOHF had against Rad Belligeon. And she definitely stepped up to the play on some of the challenges. As I say that, though, she does get a good clear infield. Tries to go for another, but Bench gets faked out. That's going to go straight to Prison Mike, but Prison Mike doesn't have anyone to pass it to, because Roller Girl was also out of boost on that play. Pressure is still to be gained. Wilkes is going to go up for it. Not going to make good contact on that, but MVP Pants with the pass to Oaks. Oaks trying to go for the bottom right on the net. Is that going in? Unfortunate post out, because that was a great awareness play from MVP Pants. But it does end up paying off, because Oaks keeps the pressure after grabbing the corner boost. But, man, MVP Pants is such a heads-up player in these situations. I'm really liking it.
Absolutely. A bit of confusion, I think, with all of those whiffs coming in. Unfortunately, it does end up in an own goal for Wilkes, but...
Yeah, I didn't get the exact details on that situation, but yeah, when 1 or 2 people whiff in those situations, you're completely lost in terms of footing, so it makes sense that it ended up going that way. As I say that, though, Roller Girl has to pick up a lot of slack there on that clear. It's looking a little bit dicey for the side of NOHF, but that's a good clear. Prison Mike not getting the best of recoveries, which means that potential passing play will fizzle out. Wilkes going to try to go for a very difficult corner shot, and it's not going to amount to much. Bench is going on the counterattack. Roller Girl is going to be the last man standing for the side of NOHF, but a good challenge, forcing it to the opposite corner. Great clear from Prison Mike, going to send it straight to MVP Pants. Going to see if he can find a way to break himself out of this one. Wilkes getting it past one. It's going to go straight to Oak, though, so I think that they're okay for the time being. But once again, Bench showing a fantastic challenge.
I would like to see maybe some demo attempts, something to open up Ball Chaser's defense just a little bit, or maybe even just some shots straight at the backboard, because we've seen on really both sides of the field a lot of double commits coming from passes off of the backboard. So I think if Wilkson maybe put it on the backboard a couple times for his team, that might create some openings.
Yeah, that is actually something that you highlighted, which I like, Big G, that we haven't actually seen a lot of demos coming in from either team, but I think that at this point, NOHF might just benefit from it a little bit more, because they have been struggling to put shots on target, and maybe just relieving some of that pressure for a potential challenge will create more confidence on the shots. Shot coming in. Oaks on putting it on target. Prison Mike with a fantastic recovery to get the save. Unfortunately, getting bumped out by, I believe, Roller Girl, so not able to continue that into a clear. NOHF looking a little bit shaky on defense. MVP Pants is going to get a free contact. Going to try to go up for it once again. Not able to get it past Roller Girl, though. And Prison Mike will be doing a good job of keeping NOHF's dreams alive in this game. There's still 1 goal down, though. Potential open net for Wilkes. Not able to get ball control going. And that is a pretty unfortunate counterattack gone wrong.
Now, I've seen Wilkes on multiple attempts, get past 1 or 2 players. Just seems like there's not as much support as he needs right now. He's just a little bit faster paced than the rest of his team, which is absolutely understandable. But we will see. Prison Mike coming here. What a shot. Unfortunately, saved.
Just a little bit too low, but the power was definitely there. Wilkes faking out 1, though, trying to get a 50-50 on MVP Pants, but Bench is going to get the shot going. Wilkes with a fantastic save, and Prison Mike is the man of the hour because he has the best position for the counterattack, but that demo is going to go straight to MVP Pants. Wilkes, what can you do with this ball? It's up to you to get the challenge on Bench right now.
Might have a chance at one last possession if they can get control here.
Ooh.
Unfortunately not.
Yeah, and I think there was a little element of boost management on the side of NOHF because they did get really good critical 50-50s to get the breakaway, but I think that they weren't able to follow some of the plays that they created, which is maybe a testament to the side of Ball Chasers because they did do a good job of keeping up the pressure and getting the boost starve going. But maybe there is also an element of boost management where they're just not doing these plays efficient enough, which means that they can either get the shot going themselves or pass it to their teammates.
And I am happy with the improvement from last game, keeping it a much closer game, especially keeping it close off of the start, I think helped them out a good bit. I'm interested to see really if there's going to be anything else that's changed going into this third game, because NOHF being 1-5, they really, really want this at least 1 win from this series.
Yeah, and in terms of stocks, Ball Chaser stocks are doing really well right now, and a 3-0 for them would actually be amazing because that would put them straight at middle of the pack, maybe even with 1 win above breaking point. So, NOHF, of course, definitely would like to see them get 1 win so that they're not all the way at the bottom of the leaderboard for their division, but we're going to have to see how this goes because I want to say that this game is actually pretty critical for the standings in terms of staying alive in the league.
See, I would be interested to see if could be any card changes. I know for myself when I am feeling like the games are not going too well for me, sometimes a nice change to the gizmo can really see a lot of improvement, lightens the mood up a little bit, just make sure my team's having fun. And I think maybe that would be good for NOHF right now. Does not seem to be the case though.
No, I think if, especially if you're someone like Wilkes, you're a little bit more on the sweatier end of the spectrum because you'd have to be a bit sweaty to get up there in the standings or in the rank ladder. But indeed, definitely sometimes going for a more fun car. I personally just like having toppers and antennas and other wacky stuff. But in this case, NOHF are starting to look a little bit cleaner on some of their defense. They're not double committing as much as we saw them in the other games, and their clears and contacts are starting to look a little bit better. As I say that, though, Oak with a self-pass to himself off the ceiling, but unfortunately that's going to go straight to Wilkes, and Bench will try to muscle his way through. Big whiff from MVP Pants. Wilkes is going to get a breakaway play, but unfortunately this is the ball control that I was talking about. Wilkes just pinching it that little bit too hard, making a setup, and oh no. Not a...
Beautiful positioning there by MVP Pants.
Yeah, definitely good positioning, but unfortunately, the near post challenge just wasn't there, and I think Prison Mike was expecting Roller Girl to go up for that early, but I think he committed a little bit too hard on the back post rotation and seeing that his teammate was not in a position to actually challenge. But as you said, MVP Pants did do a good job of punishing it. We're gonna have to see if NOHF can get something going here.
I've really liked what I've seen from Oaks. Oh, and as I say that, we got the equalizer coming in from Wilkes.
Yeah,
Taking it in his own hands, beating almost every single player on the field.
yeah, and the most important thing about that play from Wilkes not getting demoed by MVP Pants, because MVP Pants had the right idea to go for the demo there. But I think that when the angle just wasn't there to make good contact on the player, that maybe MVP Pants should have gone for the ball. But Wilkes, of course, did do his part in dodging that, which is absolutely great.
I've really liked what I've seen from Oaks this game. He's got a lot of good setup plays going, bit of a playmaker. Not necessarily a striker for this team yet in this series, but setting up a lot of good plays, making really important touches on the ball.
Yeah, now that I think about it, that might have been the first demo for NOHF this series. I'm not 100% sure on that, but it has looks like they're struggling once again a little bit on defense. If Wilkes could get it past 1 to 2 players here, we might see the opportunity to start getting something going in terms of score standing. But it is looking a bit tough. The midfield pressure from Ball Chase is looking good as usual. Roller Girl, though, doing a great job of getting it past 1. Oaks is in a very crucial position, does get good ball control. 1v1 for the side of Oak. He's going to go for the hook shot setup. Wilkes, though, blocking almost all of the net angle there with a great challenge. But the pressure is still on. Bench going for the double tap off the backboard. Does find the angle. And just when it looked like Wilkes did enough to get the save, Bench just found a way to squeeze it through here just on this last touch. Looks like it is a triple tap. And that is a very nice one from Bench.
Yeah, there's not much you can do there if you're Wilkes in that scenario.
Yeah, did as best as he could, and we managed to catch it in the replay that Wilkes did in fact accidentally hit it back into Bench, but of course Bench just keeping his car just fully on display there to make sure that he blocked all the potential saving angles. And it's starting to look a little bit rough once again for NOHF. Double commit on defense once again. Bump on the side of Prison Mike. And it's going to be up to Wilkes to try to get something going. Maybe a pass back from Prison Mike. He's going for the air dribble, actually, and that's going to be a good save for the side of Bench. And I think that was a bit of a missed opportunity in terms of the passing play, because I think if Wilkes got a pass back from Prison Mike, he could have ripped a disgusting shot on net in terms of the power. As I say that, though, Prison Mike getting it past 2. Bench with a great save to force it back in the corner once again. Is anyone up for the side of NOHF? Roller Girl does get a shot on target, but a great save once again for Bench. And is anyone ready? Wilkes is going to go for the powerful shot.
Yeah, that one was just inevitable. Shot after shot after shot. I don't think Ball Chasers had much boost left after that possession from NOHF. Wilkes just doing what he needs to do to get it in there.
Yeah, and it's looking like we're starting to see that secret recipe come together for the side of NOHF, because they actually did manage to keep sustained pressure for a change, and it's doing wonders for them, because the sustained pressure led to a very easy goal for Wilkes, who just had to do the mopping. Ooh, it's getting a little bit dicey. Prison Mike doing a good job of getting it past 1, but Bench is very fast on the play. And I think that in terms of the individual player performance, Oaks has definitely been a standout player, but I think that in terms of relieving a lot of pressure on defense, I think that Bench definitely deserves a shout-out, because he's managed to get clutch saves on some of these difficult positions, and also just overall does a great job of shutting down a lot of the midfield pressure from NOHF.
Yeah, I think his role in this is just to be that staple, reliable player, to be, wherever he needs his team to be, covering up those open gaps. I think he's done a great job of that.
Yeah, both in terms of challenges and in terms of difficult saves. Oh no, NOHF, you want to keep this ball out of your net, because otherwise it is going to be a disaster. And that is a bit of an unfortunate misplay there. I think Wilkes bumped his teammate on that speed flip to get to the corner boost, but yeah, that's a bit of an unfortunate one. They are still in it, though. They have been looking so much better compared to game 1 and 2, but they really have to stand up this time, because this might just be their last chance to eke out a potential overtime for this series.
Yeah, 1 or 2 more solid possessions here, and then it's game over. So let's see what they can do going in this final 30 seconds.
Ooh, that was almost a great shot from Wilkes. A good heads-up play to try to go very far above the ball to spike it down, but unfortunately barely missing out on making contact. And with 30 seconds left on the clock, it's starting to look a bit like a do or die for the side of NOHF. They are running a little bit low on boost for a lot of their plays, so we're going to probably see maybe 1 or 2 potential more attacks, and otherwise it is going to be nights out because this is their last chance to try to get a game going.
You're gonna puts one on net, Prison Mike.
Yeah.
Unfortunate miss on that shot, but great shot.
Yeah, maybe a accidental miss hit from Oaks. Very difficult to dribble those balls properly coming off the ramp, but that pop infield and that awareness there from Prison Mike to just rip a shot on target. And Prison Mike has been sleeping a little bit in the series in terms of getting the critically needed shots, but, I mean, when you're oh, no. Not like this. Oh, just when I was about to praise Prison Mike, I think that Wilkes challenged this way too early. He could have just rotated back post there, let Bench fire a shot from midfield. I mean, we have seen NOHF go clutch. We'll give them 4 seconds here to prove their mettle, because otherwise it is going to be a sweep for the side of Ball Chasers.
I think there was a sigh of relief a little bit from NOHF for a second, but Bench just put hard pause in that for him.
And that is a pretty unfortunate way to go out for this series, because NOHF looked absolutely stunning compared to the first 2 games of the series, and then that misplay on the kickoff after the equalizer. It's a bit of a sad way to go out, but Ball Chasers are the better team on the day because Bench has been putting in so much work, and Oaks as well, doing a great job of supporting the cast.
Ball Chasers are definitely going to be happy about that one, moving them up in the leaderboard.
Yeah, and so
that first game is going to really help add their stats a good bit.
Yeah, in terms of goal differential, this is the only game where they didn't have more than 2, if I remember correctly. So the goal differential.
The second game was 1-0.
Oh, was it 1-0 as well? Yeah. Okay. So actually, they have had 2 games where they only won by 1 goal. So they are going to be pretty happy, at least with that first game that helps them with making a breakaway. But they do go from, given the stats that we have at hand, they do go from 2-4 to would be 5-4, ignoring any other potential matches they played earlier. So they are going to be very happy about that one.
Hey, Mike, I've DM'd you the information for the second game. Looks like players are joining the lobby, so as soon as you guys are in and ready to go, we'll give them the...
Yep. Are you in the lobby right now, Skitch?
Yes, I am.
All right, you can tell them that I'm just going to change the team names, and then...
Right.
Which one's blue and which one's orange?
I DM'd that to you.
Oh, you did DM that to me. Thank you. Perfect. Set this.
I'm really interested to see going into this game. Bad Bronze, a team of 3 champs, and they do have a plat players. They're not on there as well, but straight down champ 3, champ 2, champ 1 players, while Dropkick is going to be a bit more spread out, with Mumu being a GC and then 2 mid to high diamond players. So I'm interested to see, Mike, what do you think the advantage would be in this scenario?
Yeah, I think that having your team, your players all clustered together in terms of skill rating just means that your overall team play is going to be a bit more consistent. So I think that would be the advantage for the side of Bad Bronze. But of course, when you're looking at just going guns blazing and having a lot of firepower, just having a star player like a budget Michael Jordan on your team is also a really good perk to have. So it will be a bit of a clash of styles in that regard. So we're going to have to see if Mumu on the side of Dropkick Smurfies are going to be able to deliver. Alright, I will be on my way to the private match, by the way. Oh no, Starbase Arc. Not my most preferred map, but we're gonna have to see. I personally struggle a little bit with the depth perception on this map, so maybe other players will also be plagued by that. I'm just gonna double check if the name shows nicely on stream. Yeah, I think it's alright, because there's no assets for anything like that. I think we're okay. But we're off to the races for our last series of the evening/afternoon. Gonna be a good one. Lots of pressure on Mumu to fill in the spots of the previous teammate, because this team is in fact balanced around having a high GC3 SSL player on the team. So Mumu, not being definitely a high-rated player, but not the highest-rated player, is going to be at a slight disadvantage relative to the inception of the team. So we're going to have to see if Mumu is going to be able to deliver in that regard.
Already looking pretty solid from the dropkick Smurfies here. Mumu taking his time on a good 50-50. Oh, unfortunately, no one back in net. Almost a misplay there.
Oh, that was a bit of a misplay coming from Protoss. Protoss, I think, misread the situation and just kept driving like his teammate had a free ball. But Mumu doing a great job of filling in the missing gap for the defense, recovering straight to net after the 50-50, and getting that clutch save that sent it into the corner.
I like what I saw from Bad Bronze there. What I was talking about a little bit last game, those big boomer clears on the backboard, I think are going to be really important, especially when you have, a couple of the lower ranked players in the lobby. Might be a little bit more difficult to for them to get up just as fast as those champ players can.
Yeah, Arcos Protoss, outside of that one play that I called him out on earlier, has been doing a good job of relieving some of the pressure on defense. Unfortunately, does pass it to Mikey, who didn't realize that was going to go straight to him. Bird, though, is going to send that center. Mumu, great job of sending it to the opposite corner. But Brad Bronze still have a potential offensive play going. Not able to get the double tap on that backboard self-pass. So it's going to be up to Zernaut or Mikey here to try to relieve some of the defensive pressure, but Protoss is going to try to shut it down. Great 50-50. That's going to go to the opposite side for Mumu. Mumu is deciding to control it. I don't know if he's going to go up for another pass. He does get it past one. Protoss just a little bit too slow on that one. And Dropkick Smurfies are doing a great job so far of keeping up the pressure. Big whiff coming in, but not getting punished just yet. Bird going to try to get the counterattack going, but Protoss once again shutting it down with a 50-50.
The stalemate ball there, and it already looks like Mumu's really trying to come out strong. Speaking of Star Wars,
yeah, Darth Grogu with a great pass off the corner. Bird barely misplaying on that. Almost hit that with a pre-flip into the ball. And Grogu deciding not to rotate out just too early because he had two teammates behind him. And does get a ball delivered straight onto his lap and does do a good job of slotting it in.
I have seen Mumu go up for a good amount of high aerial plays off the wall and off the ceiling. I'm interested to see if he's doing that to try to really get some good pressure going into this game, but I'm afraid it's going to catch them off guard, kind of like here, coming with Bad Bronze having an open net opportunity.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, it's going to be live or die by Mumu's plays off the corner because, in this case, Mumu has been doing a good job of putting the ball in very threatening positions, but one misplay might just lead to a free clear, and that could be an absolute disaster. But as I say that, though, Darth Grogu off the clear from Mumu doing a great job of slotting that in, and this is something where Mumu delivered just a little bit more than compared to Wilkes, because Mumu's aerial plays have been a lot more consistent than the side of Wilkes. And he's just doing a great job of adding so much power to the ball and putting the ball in really awkward places, but while at the same time awkward for the opponents, actually very easy for his teammates.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see what the conversation was going into this game. From my perspective, it seems like Mumu said, hey guys, I'm just going to try to get the ball over them. I just need you guys to be there to support and clean up. And that's what we've seen this first 3-4 minutes of this game, and it's been looking really, really good.
Yep, and the defense as well. You know, we did get into a few dicey positions for the side of Dropkick Smurfies, but the rotations have been looking pretty clean. They haven't been double committing, and it looks like there's also a little bit more trust on the side of Dropkick Smurfies when it comes to taking turns, but that was a good clear for the side of Mike. He gets the mid boost and does a great job of preserving his flip for as long as possible. And I think that Darth Grogu rotated just a little bit too early in field, but they do have some cushioning to protect their lead, so they would like to see this not go to overtime just yet, and I think that they might have what it takes to close out this game cleanly. Mikey, though, with a great save off that backward pass from Mumu. Mumu was doing a great job of putting up a lot of pressure, and that one backward pass could have been fatal if it weren't for Mikey to intercept that very cleanly. Bird, though, doing a good job of putting a lot of power on the ball, getting a lot of clears going. Unfortunately, not able to keep up the sustained pressure just yet because Mumu is on the prowl, setting up a counterattack of his own. Good 50-50, but Zernot should have a free ball. Does get the pre-flip, but Grogu doing a good job of setting up another block. Mumu barely missing out on the open net, and it's up to Bird with 0 boost to try to get a 50-50. Does get it past 1, but I do think it's a favorable position for Dropkick Smurfies, but Mikey has something else to say about that. Mumu doing a good job of putting it towards the backboard for himself. Protoss doing a good job of bailing out Mumu on that misplay for the ceiling setup. But I think that Bird is doing a good job of overall putting a lot of muscle behind the play. And if any of his teammates can follow it up, it might just be what they need to get to this overtime.
I'm hoping to see a little more pressure here from Bad Bronze. Seems like there have been a couple miscommunications on who's first to the ball here, causing them to just be a little bit slower to the play.
Yeah, and overall, for me, Bird has been one of the more consistent players. Obviously, everyone on this team is actually relatively consistent, but I feel like Bird is doing the most effort when it comes to getting the ball past any of the Dropkick Smurfy players. And I think that maybe the ball is just going a little bit too far from the other players, or maybe there's a lack of trust in some of the 50s that he's going for. But I feel like for the next game, I think that if we see some more passes coming in for the side of Bad Bronze, and maybe a few more trusted plays on this, when it comes to Bird going for 50-50s, that Bad Bronze will be able to take another game, or will be able to take their first game, rather.
Yeah, I absolutely believe that they have it in them. Like you said, I believe those passing plays, even, in series like this, when there is one significantly higher ranked player, I know a lot of times taking them out, getting a good amount of bumps, trying to demo, cause as much ruckus as you can to get them out of the play, tends to be a really good strategy to open up the field a little bit.
Yeah, and I think that the key thing is that with the side of Dropkick Smurfies is that Mumu is putting himself in very risky positions, but his recoveries have been on point, because when he goes for a play where he puts in a threatening backboard position or towards the net, he's almost always instantly midfield. And I think that he doesn't overcommit on some of the corner boost grabs, and he just makes sure that his teammates are actually in position to follow up on some of his plays. Ooh. Good intercept from Mikey. Bird trying to go for the backboard read of his life, though, but with that miss, Zernot does discover that and does go for a very clean opening goal.
Yeah, that's what we like to see, coming out here strong, putting a lot of pressure, making sure they don't get any free clears.
Yeah, and this is the Bird muscle that I was talking about. Bird has been a standout player when it comes to winning those 50-50s, and the follow-up was actually there pretty fast this time. As I say that, though, dicey kickoff goal in the making, but a good save coming in for the side of Bad Bronze. Mumu, I think he maybe got the reset off the backboard, but that's going to go straight to Arcos Protoss. He's last man on the play. That is going to go past 1, but no boost for the side of Bad Bronze just yet to be able to counter attack. And we're going to see Grogu trying to set up an attack of his own, but not going to amount to much just yet. Protoss sending it towards the corner. Mikey dribbling it past 1. And it's looking like it's a little bit dicey for both sides. Both sides very explosive when it comes to the challenges, and it feels like it's just going to be a coin flip of where the ball ends up and whose net.
I'd like to see a little bit more control there. Seemed like there was a little bit of panic from both sides. Oh my goodness. What a read from Mumu.
Yeah, let's take a look at this again. So he passes it to himself off the ceiling, gets the read on the backboard as well as it drops down, and no one challenging early on the hit. I think that for the side of Bad Bronze, it was a see it to believe it moment, because they were thinking, Mumu doesn't hit those. There's no way that he's going to get that. And then the goal explosion goes through.
Yeah, I probably would have been thinking the exact same thing if I was defending in that position.
Big opening potentially there as Mikey tried to get a pass going. I think that he could have decided to take it to the corner and have a little bit of a reset going, but that miss hit from Mikey not going to get capitalized on just yet. Protoss keeping up some of the pressure, and Grogu going for another challenge off of his teammate, and I'm definitely liking some of these follow-up plays that we're seeing for Dropkick Smurfies, though. Mumu ripping a shot from the midfield. We're going to have to take a look at this one again, because I was looking at some of the defenders for the side of Bad Bronze. Good air roll shot, places it past Mikey. Mikey once again in that position where he's like, I'm going to have to see it to believe it, because he didn't think that Mumu had the juice to rip a shot like that.
Yeah, it was a tough position for Bad Bronze there. Dropkick Smurfies did a great job of controlling the boost and getting bumps on every single rotation out, which I definitely noticed opened up a bit of space for him for that shot.
Yeah, and I think that at this point, Bad Bronze are just going to have to reconcile with the fact that Mumu is actually a pretty damn good player, so they're just going to have to challenge him on some of the shots, and he is putting most of the stuff that he's doing on target, so instead of just sitting and waiting back to see if he's actually going to rip the shot, just try to intercept it as much as possible. Just throw yourself at Mumu, and we're going to have to take a look at this one. Oh, that is a pretty nasty rebound for Zernot. Zernot unfortunately whiffing, and no one on the side of Bad Bronze to help him out. And, yeah, pretty good touch from Mumu, but a bit of a misplay from Zernot.
Yeah, I think at this point it's going to be a bit of a mental game, because Bad Bronze has got to be thinking, who knows what Mumu is about to do. He could be faking, he could be going for a quick shot. It seems like he's done a really good job of being able to get to the ball from whatever position he's put himself in.
Yeah, Mumu's definitely acquired a lot of real estate now, because it looks like he's invoking some fear into the hearts of the Bad Bronze players. But Arcos Protoss doing a good job of getting it past one, and you know he's been a little bit quiet. He's actually done a good job overall of connecting on the challenges. But I think that this is his first goal of the series, so he's going to be pretty stoked about that one. Oh, great dribble from Mikey.
Right back at him.
Yep, that's a much-needed kickoff goal for the side of Bad Bronze. Mikey with a self-pass on the wall. Mumu deciding to abandon the play instead of challenging the rebound, and maybe that's a bit of miscommunication, or maybe it's a misplay from Mumu. It's hard to say because both are technically viable, where Mumu just throws himself at the rebound, but he could also let Protoss go for it. So, we're not going to make any assumptions just yet, but again, a big kickoff win for the side of Bad Bronze. Mumu doing a good job of saving that off the backboard. It's up to Mikey to keep the pressure. Mumu not getting the best of contact. That could have been, I think, a game-winning goal right there with a 3-goal lead. Albeit that this series has been pretty explosive in this game too, so can't be definitive just yet. Mumu showing off his real estate gains just there because he managed to fake one player off the ball. And a great 50-50 once again. Mumu is really pulling his weight for this game. He's going to try to go for the finish. Does get good contact, but a beautiful intercept from one of the defenders of Bad Bronze. And I think that they are starting to believe it right now because Bad Bronze's challenges have started to look a lot cleaner. They're going up a lot earlier than they normally have been for some of these shots that Mumu's been putting up. And I think that Dropkick Smurfies are going to have to consider the fact that Bad Bronze are stepping it up right now.
Yeah, I really like what I've seen from them in this past couple of minutes. It seems like they're playing with a lot more confidence, you know, even if, you know, there's not a great touch on the ball, even just being fast to the play and having good posture and being a good threat is going to do a lot to break down that Dropkick Smurfy defense.
Oh, that is a big whiff from Bird. That could have been the goal that will get them back into the series, but with 1 minute left, you know, every touch counts because I think that that's been some of the best pressure that we've seen from this game so far. Zernot, though, with a good 50-50, is going to send it to Bird, but a Protoss demo coming in. That's going to be Mikey on his own on offense, Mumu shutting it down early. This could be disastrous for the side of Dropkick Smurfies, but a good save coming in from Grogu. Good touch from Bird. Crossbar down, crossbar in. Beautiful shot indeed, Big G. You know, Grogu maybe could have left that for Mumu. Again, looking a little bit like miscommunication, but a great spike coming in from Bird. I'm pretty sure I've seen that one in volleyball before, and that was a great shot to get them back in this series.
Definitely staying true to his name, showing what he can do flying around in the air. Fantastic part of shot.
Ooh, big kickoff win for the side of Orange, and Mumu with a beautiful corner rebound. I missed out just a little bit on the follow-up to the read, but a good 50-50 from Grogu, setting up a corner bounce for Mumu, and Mumu just taking his sweet time. Obviously, from our POV on stream, it looks really slow, but that was definitely a fast read from Mumu. Bad Bronze, though, not out of it just yet. We have seen some good 50-50s from both Bird and Zernot. We haven't seen a lot of follow-up in the last 2 minutes, but as I say that, though, Mikey putting a shot on target. Mumu with a great heads-up play to turn around and get the save. Bad Bronze are not out of it just yet. They smell blood, and they're going to try to keep up as much pressure as possible. Bird making it very awkward for Mumu. Mumu not able to get the save, and a beautiful read off his own self-pass on the corner from Bird.
Bird is just taking the game into his own hands right now. He's dying to get that win.
Yeah, and I'm going to open the scoreboard here quickly. Everyone pulling their weight on Bad Bronze, but Bird, once again, showing to be that standout player, excuse me. Big kickoff win, though, as I was about to go on my point. Bird, what can he do with this ball? Protoss with a good save, but Grogu is going to send that mid. Zernot up for it very early, but Mumu with a great save once again. We're down to the last 10 seconds. 1 goal behind for the side of Bad Bronze. Can they manage to find a way to get the equalizer?
Yeah, unfortunately, I think Bad Bronze is a bit low on boost here as this game wraps up. And that is going to be it for Dropkick Smurfies, taking the W.
Yeah, and I have to say, this, hands down, has to be the most exciting game that we've seen for both series so far. I think it was very back and forth, and, you know, even though Dropkick Smurfies did have a really good game 1, I think that Bad Bronze managed to step up halfway through the second game, and they did do a good job of playing better as a team, I want to say.
Absolutely. Seeing Bird kind of get some more confidence with those aerials and high challenges, and seeing Zernot and Mikey playing a bit more support, I think it could work out really, really well for them, kind of imitating what is happening on the Dropkick Smurfies as well.
Yeah, and this is not even the most convincing 2-0 that we've seen so far today, because I think that Bad Bronze definitely have what it takes here, and I think just given their rise in terms of performance and team play, I would not be surprised at all to see them take this last game of the evening. That's just my way of saying that I'm pretty sold on Bird. I think that everyone on the side of Bad Bronze have been playing well, but for me, I feel like Bird is a very good standout player so far. Bird able to get it past 1. That is going to be a backboard read, but unfortunately no one there on the side of Bad Bronze to follow up on that. And Zernot is going to abort that that difficult rebound. And they did kill off a lot of their pressure for the time being. So, as I say that though, Mikey with a triple tap, almost sending that towards net.
Triple tap attempt.
Bird, though, with a fantastic shot off the placement. The triple tap was not lost in vain, because that triple tap was good enough to set up a shot for our boy Bird.
And we've been talking about Bird, and Mikey says, hey guys, I got to show you what I can do as well with that super close triple touch attempt.
Yeah, and this is a much-needed opening as well, because if I remember correctly, we haven't seen them take the lead at any point in this series, and so this gives them a lot more playing room to go for some more difficult plays and try to see where they can test Dropkick Smurfies on their defense. As I say that, though, that ball almost went into the bottom left. That would have been a pretty clean shot. But Mumu, though, is going to keep up some pressure. It's going to be up to Grogu to extend the offensive play. We're going to see what he can do from the side of Arcos Protoss. That's going to be a good intercept from Bird once again, but that's going to go straight to Mumu, and Mumu has been able to rip really nice clears. Protoss not trusting that just yet, so Bird will get a free ball on this one. Pass. Unfortunately not connecting. I think that if Mumu did... Oh, wait, never mind. Just when I thought the play was completely over, Grogu snuck his way in there. We're gonna have to take a look at that. Good 50-50 from Protoss. The 50-50s from Protoss have been paying off a lot of dividends, and I want to say that if we're talking about who's the best support of the series, I'm probably putting my money on the side of Arcos Protoss, but I'm not 100% sure just yet.
I think it also was good looks by Darth Grogu there, just to clean up that play.
Yeah, Grogu's awareness overall has been really good. He called out one of the defenders, I think in game 1, on a whiff off a very difficult backward read. Just not overcommitting too fast on rotating out, just seeing what kind of defense Bad Bronze are going to put up with, or put up, excuse me. And so far, just overall, the team play between Protoss, Grogu, and Mumu is looking pretty good. Ooh, Protoss not challenging that early enough. That could have been a huge opening for the side of Bad Bronze, and I think that they got just a little bit lucky there that they managed to get the defense. As I say that, though, Zernot potential open net, Mumu doing a good job of intercepting it. Mumu is going to have to pull up his carry pants right now because it's starting to look really dicey for the side of Dropkick Smurfies.
Yeah, I've seen a bit more risky plays coming in here from Bad Bronze. The only thing I'm worried about is that continues to happen. There's a lot of space. No one behind midfield. Moo can just bang it over everyone and get a free shot out of it.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be a combination of the quality play. The what is that angle from Mumu? I was pretty sure that Mumu was just going to try to control this, but he cuts into the ball very aggressively like that, and then the side flip to get a really weird angle change. I mean, I'm
Really
completely not surprised that the defender got caught off guard there, because that caught me off guard. But yeah, I think that as you were talking about making sure that Mumu doesn't get free clears on defense, I think that as long as the quality of their offensive play is high to the point where it just keeps putting the players of Dropkick Smurfies in awkward position, they should be fine. But at some point, they will have to try to connect that lethal shot to make sure that they don't get called out on any potential counterattack. Big opportunity, though. Zernot is going to leave the ball for a potential clear, but unfortunately none of the Bad Bronze players following up on that call. And it's going to be up to Bird to muscle his way on this one. Grogu does get it past 2. Is he able to get a third touch? Does get it past Mikey, but no one on the side of Dropkick Smurfy's trusting him on that one.
Yeah, Grogu is absolute brick wall there, 50 every single player on their team in his favor. Unfortunately, just no one to back him up on that play.
Yeah, and I think if they got the goal there, that might be just what they need to secure the series, though. Unfortunately, no one challenging Mumu on the midfield, and I think there was a bit of miscommunication for the side of Bad Bronze. Looks like Mikey was a little bit too close, and Bird looking a little bit lost on that, and Mumu just sees the open net and just puts it on target.
Yeah, I did see Bird got completely bumped out of that play, just enough for him not to be able to save that ball.
It's looking pretty dicey, though, once again. They're still not out of it, because I do believe that Bad Bronze has what it takes, given their sustained pressure. Unfortunately, that's just not it right now with both Mikey and Zernot missing out. You know, I think the Bird stocks are going to have to go through the roof right now, because it might just be the only way they get back into the series, though. Mumu with a miss hit. Bird going to try to go up for it early. Mikey, does he get the angle? He does get it towards the far post, but the post does betray Bad Bronze. And if anyone's going to be an MVP on defense for the last 10 minute of this series, it is going to be the post. Still an opportunity, though. Zernot is going to give Mumu space. This has been lethal in the past. Zernot with a whiff, though, but Bird with a fantastic clear infield. Unfortunately, though, no one on the side of Bad Bronze able to follow up on that, so it will just go straight to Grogu. Grogu with a pass to Mumu. Does Grogu have another one? Not a very difficult angle to go for. And I like that again, once again, from Mumu. He threatens a demo there, does not commit to it because he has to make sure that he keeps his rotations as clean as possible. Big touch from Grogu, though.
I don't want to call this one just yet, but it is looking like it's going to seal the deal with only 20 seconds left in gameplay.
Zernot, though, with a big shot that is going to go straight to the defender, unfortunately. We have to see, what do Bad Bronze have? 10 seconds left, 2 goals down. Zernot, the man of the hour. He does have a potential shot. He does get it past 1, but I think, unfortunately, the wide approach on that play with 2 goals down is not going to be enough to cut it for this one.
You know, I think that was a very respectable series on both sides. I think, you know, Mumu just had something to prove in this series of being a new player on the team, trying to live up to fill a role of a higher ranked player, and I think he absolutely stepped up to the plate here.
Yeah, and I think that we have to commend on outside of the fact that Bad Bronze did play a really good series considering who they're playing against. I do want to commend Arcos Protoss for a lot of the challenges that he's been putting up with, and of course Grogu in the earlier parts of the series slotting in a lot of the goals. But I feel like Arcos Protoss was definitely for me one of the standout players where I wasn't sure what he was capable of, but the 50-50s that he was putting up and shutting down a lot of the offense from Bad Bronze really stand out.
Yeah, he definitely seemed like a silent but deadly player there. 3 assists in this final game. Really just doing a great job to keep possession and really set up plays for his team.
Yeah, and
all right, guys. Hey, Mike, thanks for hosting. Thanks for casting. Big G, thanks for the game analysis. Good stuff all around. There's some pretty. I think all the games were pretty close, closer than we expected at some point. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely happy to take over for the stream. It would have been such a shame if these games didn't get the casting, because I think the series definitely delivered. The second one in particular was could have gone either way, so I was really happy to cast it.
Right. Appreciate it much. Yeah, we'll get these pulled down and uploaded to YouTube later, so everybody can rewatch and hear your game calls. But that's all we have for this week. So that wraps up week 2. We'll get all the stats updated and then see where everybody stands. Next week will be week 3, obviously, but it's going to be the divisional week. So the teams will be playing the other teams in their division, and then they'll actually rematch those teams again in week 5. So it's going to be kind of an important week. It'll be the first time facing the division opponents. Maybe learn a little bit about them. We want to give the teams a couple weeks to get to play with each other before going into that, because that last and final week against the rematches against the division opponents could really affect the playoff standings. So that's where we stand for now. Do you guys have any last words? Otherwise, we can wrap this up.
Yeah, I would like to thank Big G for joining me on the cast. I think personally it went really smooth, so I'm happy that it went as well as it did.
Absolutely. I'm glad to have been here, and thank you for having me.
Okay. All right, guys. Appreciate y'all. Everybody, have a great rest of your Sunday, and we'll see you again next week.
Quick shout outs as well for the people that followed. Thanks MVP Pants, Ignited Blue, Mikey Derp, Sooner, and Darkstar for the follows. Much appreciated, guys, and we'll probably catch you next week.